Well then, like they say, knock knock. Well, the usual response should be, who's there? But by now, I guess you already know. It's your friendly neighborhood anchors here, and it's a great sunny day. I think it should be sunny by this time.
Well, it's not yet sunny, but of course the sun is rising. It is your favorite show, Wake Up Nigeria, the premium family entertainment breakfast show. And there's no need to check your television sets. All this amazing wonder is real, and we do it just for you.
Talking about amazing wonders, check out who walked in lime green, looking all dazzling and beautiful. Oh my goodness, talk about cheese.
Mazino, that isn't lime green.
No, Mazino, I can't have enough. Please continue. I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you, Jerry.
Give me
Chlorophyll green.
2021,
Mazino,
I'm
that
taking
isn't
all the
chlorophyll
compliments
green.
that whatever green it is, it's shall green, right?
Take it.
Mary, don't come and be putting sunshades in my shine. I'm shining this morning.
Thank you.
You look
Well,
fantastic.
Rihanna's diamond.
Very nice. You guys should see the rest of that dress. It's actually quite nice. So, we all know about the popular saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. We say, make lemonade with a dash of vodka and tokwe.
It's a breakfast show. Let's pretend we didn't hear it.
In any case, welcome once again. And, of course, it is going to be a fantastic Tuesday edition, and we are really glad that you have chosen to start your day here with us on this edition, specifically curated just to put a smile on your face.
Now, of course, we aim to get better and better with every edition. And I ask that you stay tuned for the next 45 minutes. My name is Mary Bashua Alimi.
And of course, my name is Mazino Appeal. Remember, you can use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC on all the platforms to be a part of this great show. And of course, remember, you can also watch us live from absolutely anywhere you might be in the world on our mobile app. You can download that on Google Play or iOS Store.
Now, we also implore you to follow us across all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at TVC Connect. And, well, let's get the ball rolling.
Yes, indeed. Let's let you know what's coming up. It's said that prevention is better than cure. So how do we go about that? Joining us to shed more light on this is Dr. Olamide Brown Ni Orekuni, a British Nigerian medical doctor and founder of the Flying Doctors Healthcare Investment Group.
Now, Derek is a fast-rising Afrofusion musician, a songwriter and performing artist, and he will be performing the song.
Danielle is a seasoned entrepreneur and professional early childhood practitioner. Now, she's the founder of Moma Hill Montessori School, Lagos, and she'll be talking about developing child, or rather your child's reading culture.
And our final guest is Nigerian filmmaker Uduak Patrick, a theater, film, media and entertainment professional with a background in production, management, creative directing for film and television.
I don't understand. That woman has worked so hard to make sure we all went to school. And now she's sick, there's no money for her treatment.
That looks like an old one because Stan looks like 19 or something.
I thought it was new. When I was trying to communicate with her, I was trying to go earth to talk by, because once she sees a movie, she's just talking, what is this one? That's what you look like. By the way, you look fantastic today.
No, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
God, no.
Normally, I'd
really
shed
good.
all my accolades on her, but
I mean, today is about me.
it is about you today.
No, you
You know, I'm
really
just
look
like,
good.
I just look at me, I'm like, God, you did create.
So that's not lime green, is it? What is that?
It's not lime green.
What is it?
No,
Just
wow,
call
it
it
sure
green
is
and
green.
stay there. Though it looks quite like teal, though.
Teal, huh?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's definitely not
It's-
lime
Whatever.
green.
It looks talk by. That's what it
Thank
looks like.
you. Thank
Anyhow,
you.
good to see you too. You look fantastic. Anyway.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I am not asking for your compliments. If you're gonna
you
pick
actually
them,
no.
shove them.
No, it's a breakfast show.
Okay.
Yes.
You actually look the color of Agbalumo, which is very funny.
Oh, wow.
Wait, no, seriously. It's all
Okay,
about
I'm
fruits
out of
this
here.
morning.
No.
It's a compliment.
Let's not show
Did you
them
hear
who
what
we
he
are.
said?
Why couldn't
You want
say-
Debola to come after me. Debbie on the Max FM.
Yes,
She cannot see Agbalumo.
Wait,
Are you
She
serious?
lives, breathes
For
for
Agbalumo.
Agbalumo.
Oh wow.
it's actually Agbalumo season. I don't know if
Yes,
you guys
it
So
is.
yeah, I haven't
Agbalumo
eaten
is
it like
really-
ever. I keep telling myself I will try it every time, and every time I'm close to it, I'm just like,
Babe, you've never
not for
had
me.
Agbalumo.
You've
You've
never
never
had
done
it?
Agbalumo do. Omo lo fẹ́
there is song for it.
You've never, there is. So what you do is, there's this, I don't know whether it's a myth, but when you want to try, like when you want to
the
take
first time.
Agbalumo, no, not for the first time. Every time you pick one, you roll it.
Yeah, make it soft.
Yeah, and then while you're rolling
texture.
it, you're singing Agbalumo.
I don't know about the song.
Omo
but
lo fẹ́
you do that.
and you just keep rolling it, keep
Tell you,
rolling
ladies,
it.
guess what? I will give one of you 10,000 naira if you can tell me the English name for that fruit.
Cherry.
Cherry is a general
Red
group.
cherry.
Red cherry. 10,000 naira up for grabs.
Wait. Oh God.
You laugh like you know the
Cherry
name.
fruit. Cherry fruit.
Cherry fruit.
Cherry fruit.
Go on, Mary, if you know it. You're
Tell me
thinking
now,
hard.
share it with you.
You're Googling it in your head, aren't you?
Cherry.
Time up already.
there was
It's not Feel Good Friday. Listen,
Wait, don't say it yet. Don't say it yet.
I'll just tell you already to
Wait,
save
wait,
time.
wait.
I can't. I have to tell you. It's called the African.
apple.
It's called the African. No,
Apple.
someone's there telling you.
Already,
You got it.
you didn't give me rules and
Well, you
regulations.
already said time
He's
off.
a lie.
I already said time
No,
off.
wait. He didn't. Wait. I'm going to fight this thing. Nah, never.
I've got
he
plenty
didn't give
to
us.
tell.
He didn't give us time.
I've
he didn't
got
give
plenty
us
to tell about it.
But
But it's called the African star apple
Right,
or
oh
the
yeah.
African cherry.
I tried. I said
You
cherry.
tried actually. It's also called Alasa in Ghana. And it's actually very good for
Give me
pregnant
5K
women.
now. Give me 5K.
And it helps boost your immune system, especially that we're in such a time that we're
Oh,
looking
yeah?
for what's going to boost our immune system. So
African
this is
star.
something that you guys
Check.
you should
5K.
actually try it out.
5K.
Yeah.
Give me 5K now.
For why?
I got half.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's do the news.
My
We'll be
business
back.
is gone.
Welcome. And we begin this hour with the news. And of course, in Abuja, where the Department of State Service, DSS, has raised alarm about plans by some elements working with external forces to incite religious violence across the country. Now, according to the statement by the Public Relations Officer of the service, some targeted states include Sokoto, Kano, Kaduna, Plateau, Rivers State, Oyo, and Lagos, and those in the southeast. The statement also noted that part of the plans is to cause interreligious conflicts and use their foot soldiers to attack some worship centers, religious leaders, personalities, key and vulnerable points. The DSS advised Nigerians to be wary of these plans and shun all divisive tendencies aimed at inciting or setting them against one another, while pledging to collaborate with sister agencies to ensure that public order is being maintained. And away from Abuja to Rivers, where residents of Bonny local government area have expressed their displeasure over the incessant attacks and killings by pirates on their waterway for many years now. Now, the protesters, who are mostly youths resident on Bonny Island, told journalists that the most recent of the attacks was on January 5th, 2021, when two indigents drowned in the river after pirates attacked their boat. They added that the pirates, after the attack, made away with valuables from the passengers and asked them to jump into the high sea. Meanwhile, due to the high rate of attacks, the pirates on the island, the Rivers State government in July 2019 launched a special security initiative codenamed Operation Sting, in which patrol vehicles and gunboats were donated to security agencies to tackle violent crimes on roads and waterways in the state. Now, last week, the Rivers State Police Command also deployed 366 special constabularies to various localities for the community policing initiative. The Bonny protesters, however, insisted that there have been no improvement in the security situation in the area. And then we go back to Abuja now again, where the federal government says it may review the January 18th date, earlier slated for resumption of schools across the country. This is due to the surge in infections as a result of the second wave of coronavirus. The Minister of Education, Adamu, disclosed this in Abuja during the weekly briefing by members of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. The Minister of Environment also confirmed that tertiary institutions will be decontaminated prior to school resumption. The Minister of Health also clarified a report circulating on the suspension of the ongoing national identification number registration exercise. Dr. Osage Ehanire says he was quoted out of context as there are no plans by the federal government to suspend the exercise.
I said it is supposed to be subject to review, and in view of the rising cases, today at the meeting of PTF we considered it, and tomorrow the ministry is going to take it up. So most likely it's going to be reviewed.
We are planning on doing that. As a matter of fact, we have done some kind of decontamination and disinfection on, I think, 2 or 3 universities on request at the time. So we do have the plan to do that. What we are waiting for is to just know when all this thing will be settled and the schools will reopen, because the timing for decontamination and disinfection is critical.
As to whether there is going to be a suspension.
And that's it for the news this hour. And if you like your footballs, well, Mary is standing by for sports.
Thank you very much, Mazino. Now, Week 5 matches of the Nigerian Women's Football League has been postponed by the league management body, NWFL. Now, this development is due to the inability of the 14 participating clubs to meet up with the directives on COVID-19 tests for players and team officials. The postponement is to enable the board of the NWFL collate and validate the COVID-19 test provided by the clubs. Week 5 matches will now be played on Wednesday, the 20th of January, across all designated centres. Now to the CAF Confederation Cup tie between Nigeria's Rivers United and South Africa's Bloemfontein Celtic has been rescheduled for the weekend of 22nd and 24th of January. The second leg of the last 32 tie will now be played in a neighboring country to Nigeria, which has more lenient COVID-19 protocols for travelers arriving from South Africa. The match should have been played on the 8th of January in Port Harcourt, but the South African side club were not able to travel to Nigeria due to the strict coronavirus regulations by the Nigerian government. The regulations meant that Bloemfontein Celtic would have had to quarantine for 7 days upon arrival because South Africa is listed as one of the high-risk countries in Africa. Now to the FA Cup. Manchester United will host Liverpool in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Monday night's draw pitched 12-time winners United into battle with Jurgen Klopp's men, who beat coronavirus-hit Aston Villa side to book their place. Current FA Cup holders Arsenal will play the winner of the tie between Shrewsbury and Southampton, which is postponed due to several positive COVID tests in the Shrewsbury squad away from home. Manchester City will travel to League Two Cheltenham and Tottenham head to Wycombe Wanderers, with the 4th round ties scheduled for the weekend of January 22 to 25. Non-league Charlie's reward for beating Derby County in the 3rd round is a home game against Wolves, while Crawley Town, who knocked out Leeds United, will visit Bournemouth. Tottenham Hotspurs will play Fulham on Wednesday in a fixture reshuffle after the Premier League match at Aston Villa was postponed because of coronavirus cases in the Villa camp. Fulham's scheduled home match against Chelsea on Friday will now take place on Saturday. Aston Villa, who are due to host Everton on Saturday, will now face the Toffees on Sunday. Fulham's game at Tottenham was originally scheduled for 30th of December, but it was postponed at short notice because of a coronavirus outbreak at Fulham. And that's it on the sports news update for this hour on Wake Up Nigeria. We have more for you right after this break. Make sure you stay with us.
And welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria, and it's time for us to tell you what's been happening or what happened all through yesterday inside of the dailies, and we have the papers here for us. So let's take a look at the dailies and bring this to you. So today is a Tuesday, isn't it? Yes, it's a Tuesday. It's the 12th of January. The year is speeding along gracefully, is what I think. And for the Guardian newspaper, we start with this big headline: why Nigeria can't produce COVID-19 vaccines now. Very far, we don't have the investment. It's mirage to expect local vaccines now, say Akintayo. And we're making tremendous progress, say Akiapu. And we look at lower down the paper, crowds return as striking NIMC workers resume. Commission warns against fake app. NIM SIM deadline dates draw closer. Officials blame Nigerians for not exploring online process. And crowding at NIMC centers will worsen COVID-19 spread, warns PTF. There are other headlines at the bottom of The Guardian. We'll see if we can take a few of them. 60 Lagos Ibadan rail project workers infected with COVID-19. And airlines to pay Nigerian $1.36 million. That's 50 million naira for missing luggage. Ooh, wow. Now, let's move on to our next paper this morning, and we're going to move straight to the Nigerian Tribune. 4 reasons COVID-19 is on the rise in Nigeria. This on page 2 and 3. Very interesting read here. January 18 school resumption to be shifted and Lagos workers to be in office twice monthly. Nigeria now Africa's second highest in cases, and rapid diagnostic test kits to be rolled out in 5 Abuja hospitals, and over 60 railway workers infected so far, says Amechi. Look at other headlines inside the Tribune. Choir director found dead in office, and Borno government enrolls 1,163 IDP children in school. Insecurity getting out of hand, or rather out of control, says Tanko Yakasai. And at the top of the Tribune, plots to incite religious crisis in Kano, Lagos, Oyo, other states uncovered. Let's see what we have now for our next paper, and that is The Nation. On the front page of The Nation newspaper this morning, can Islamic Council differ over cause of COVID-19 spike? Reopening of religious centers, businesses, schools pushes up virus positive cases, say PTF. At the top of The Nation, resumption of schools threaten, Unilori, SQ go online. 2023, Okorocha seeks alliance of good people in APC and also PDP, and police arrest 47 herdsmen with guns in Oyo State. Let's move on now to what might be our final paper this hour, and that's the Punch newspaper. Hospitals won't be able to handle serious COVID-19 cases soon, say the NCDC. Federal government to extend curfew hours, meets with governors. We're reviewing January 18 school resumption dates, say minister. And government plans to release rapid test kits in Abuja next week. And at the bottom of the paper here, police probe 47 armed Fulani men arrested in Oyo, and police die. Kidnappers collect, or rather, police lied. Kidnappers collected 2 million to free us, says Ondo couple. Adoke tested positive for COVID-19, held back in UAE. And at the very top of the Punch, this plots to cause religious disturbance in Lagos, Kaduna, and others, say the DSS on page 7. And still on page 7, 1,000 NDLEA cadets stranded as minister stops Plateau orientation. And Okorocha canvasses new political alliance ahead of 2023. I'm wondering if we can see or take another paper. Let's see. I'm thinking that we can. We move on now to the Vanguard newspaper this morning here. And so much talk about COVID-19. This is still a headline here, and a big one. COVID-19, FG may suspend NIN registration, say minister. Find that on page 5. Other riders following. And a look at the photo story here, signing of the $1.959 billion Kano Maradi rail line. And you can see the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, there signing that. Managing Director, Mota Engil, and Antonio Greve seated left there as they sign that agreement. Choir director found dead in office on page 7. In COVID-19, FG will stop train service if. That's from Amechi. And that's as much as we can take for the headlines this morning. Thank you very much for joining us. Do pick these up, the dailies, and you might want to read and make a comment. Do remember, use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC if you want to get our attention. Let's do daily vulnerables now, and we'll be back with more inside of Wake Up Nigeria.
I had a quarrel with a friend of mine. And he said things that I thought were unfair, very unfair. And I was angry, and he was angry. And it was what they call a stalemate. And, you know, and then after a week, I thought to myself, I love this friend. This is a dear friend of mine. He thinks I hurt him. I think he hurts me. By the time we do this, none of us is going to ever come to the other person. So I went and said to him, I first said to him, I'm sorry. And I said, look, I'm coming over to yours. We're going to talk through this. We're going to make this right. And there was a part of me that was saying to myself, Chidi, but you didn't do anything wrong. This person did wrong to you and he has not apologized to you. Why are you the one apologizing? And I remember that every time I've had a conflict with this particular friend, I have always been the one to apologize. Always. And then I asked myself why. And I said to myself, it's because that's the kind of person I want to be. You know, on a monthly basis, I track myself. People often see me and they say, oh, you're so humble, you're so humble. And one of the mistakes with humility is that you can become proud of humility, that you now become proud. Yeah. But every month I assess myself. I say, Chude, how did you do things with humility this month? And I score myself. Did you do things with humility this month? And that's because I find humility very attractive. I think that that's the kind of person I want to be. That's the kind of person I want to be. And so I realized, I never consciously thought about it, I realized that the reason why I kept doing this with this friend, who I love dearly, who is dear to me, is because I like humility, I like brokenness, what Christians call brokenness. And so it doesn't matter what he does or what other people do. What matters is, which kind of person do I want to be? I, Chudi. When I sleep in the night, what kind of person do I want to be? And no matter what other people do, I try my best to stay true to who I think I want to be.
What kind of person do you want to be?
Should just steadily giving it to us, steadily inspiring us.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
That's very nice. Well, welcome to the gist right now. It's Mazzino, Agbalumo, and Lime. And today we have a very interesting story going on.
Olive, I'll take Olive.
Olive is not bad, okay.
Yes.
Agbalumo and Olive. I'm trying not to look at
Let's call yours Star Apple. That way it sounds nice.
We were talking about something very interesting before we started the show
Yeah.
today, and it's about the Oloture story.
Yes, the Oloture story.
You were telling one side of the story, but over the weekend I saw
Another side.
a lady who claims that this was her life story, and she was very bitter about the fact that her story was taken from her and is being used to make so much money and all. And she was very, very angry at everything that had happened. She's a journalist, apparently. And she told about how she had experienced all of this and recounted the story to peoples. And before you know it, boom, well, that was the story she told.
Yeah, that was the story
But
she
this
told.
morning, you're telling a different story.
Yeah, so I did watch let's say an interview or a release that Mo Abudu made. And you know this thing about saying there are three sides to the story, your side, my side, and what actually happened. So from Mo's side of the story, I mean, so as far as I watched, Mo said, I said when they sought rights for the film, it was from Premium Times. So apparently she was working with Premium Times at the time she did this report. And Premium Times gave them permission, which means that the content, or which means that the report she made was for Premium Times.
Property.
Yes, it's Premium Times property, which they took permission for. And she mentioned other films that they took permission for as well. But fast forward, she says the investigative journalist lawyer reached out to them and demanded for $5 million as compensation. And she says that she actually interviewed her on Moments with Mo. She interviewed her on, I think, a couple of other things that their production.
Also, they were acquainted already.
They were acquainted already. And she also showed text messages that they exchanged. She told her father passed. And so Mo sent money to the father, I guess, because the next message she shows us is her thanking Mo for sending her money. Now, when she was giving her interview, she didn't say these sides. So you know these things of when you don't say some parts of the story and say some part of the story, and then it now makes her look.
The story crumble.
Yeah, it makes the story crumble because now she's saying it's her intellectual property, but Mo is saying it belongs to Premium Times, which if it was done under Premium Times, of course it belongs to them, even though it was her story. I think what I would say from watching both, I think the only part that I would feel for her is the fact that she didn't want people knowing that she was raped. I think her family didn't know she was raped.
Oh, and
so
that was
yeah, and
exposed
that was
during
exposed.
the-
Yeah, so I think that was one thing that really, because she kept, if you remember watching
Yeah.
hers, she kept hammering on
And
how
she cried. She didn't just hammer on it. She actually shed tears.
So in the Premium Times story, was it reported that she was raped?
Yeah,
No.
I think it was. I'm
not too
even
sure.
I'm
And
not too
then
sure.
what was a name like put out there during the story? Because see, one thing that many people make mistakes about is when you put something in the public space.
Yeah.
You're leaving it out there for anybody to...
almost stops being yours.
Being yours,
Exactly.
yes.
Yes,
Make a
there's this
translation of.
protection. You can say, "Oh, it's mine. It's my intellectual property. It's it's my idea and everything," and then you can even claim damages for it. But the
Yeah.
moment it's in the public space, anyone can do anything
anything
with
with it,
The
yeah.
story could have been taken and tweaked without even
Which
they
is what I
getting
was going to... I was
permission.
actually going to ask her, was it a direct...
Because I mean,
you
the
know,
name was different.
depiction
She's
of her
Tobore,
story and
there's
all of
Olutore.
that. Once you change things, it becomes totally different property.
Yeah.
However, it would also seem that she is quite aggrieved at the fact that it's on streaming platforms now.
So there was a message that she also sent, most stating that because of COVID, they were not going to take the movies to the cinemas. But she did promise her cash for her NGO. So she's like, and the text message showed that even if it's going on streaming platforms, I'm still going to give you the cash I promised.
Okay.
But she didn't respond again. And then she said her lawyer reached out to, Mo's lawyer reached out to her lawyer, and then the lawyer said the lawyer no longer works with Tobore. So
Tobore is the lady.
Tobore is the lady.
How much is he asking for now?
5 million.
5
million. So
My mouth cannot say it.
2.5 billion naira. And Mo say we don't have the money. It's a lot of money.
You know something. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
I believe they will definitely have to sit
Yeah,
down
definitely.
and reach some form of
Agreement, yes.
But whatever the case may be, it's going to be a very tricky one. And I really feel sorry for her because Nigerian
Yeah.
society on people who are victims of rape, they act like you are the one at
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah.
Which is still something we need to talk about.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, it was an inspiring story, but
Yeah.
Well, we've
But
got
then-
plenty more conversation coming up inside of the show here today. And of course, we've got the kitchen segment, which we're all looking forward to. By the way, check out my social media handle and, of course, the TVC social media handle. We have a new host alert on it, just so you know. You'll find out when you check it out. Maybe we'll tell you after we get back. Do stay tuned. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
are we on the same show?
No, I'm Welcome to the kitchen this beautiful Tuesday morning. It's time to get cooking. You already know this is my favorite place on the show. And I've got Chef Ture.
In the building.
Oh my gosh, it's almost difficult to accept the fact that you can't hug people anymore. At least not for now. But I haven't seen her in ages. For
went
those
for
who are
maternity
ardent watchers of Wake Up Nigeria, you definitely remember Chef Ture. She took a break to become a mommy, but she's back now, and we are so happy to have her back. Congratulations,
Thank you.
honey.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, so what are we having for breakfast?
Yeah, we'll be making healthy chicken wraps, and we'll be stepping it down with our infused water.
Infused water.
Exactly.
Okay, so my mind tells me to let us start with the infused water, because that sounds really interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so how do we work that out?
So we are using our lime, lemon, and cucumbers. You can use watermelon, apples. It depends on what you want. But you know, I love budget-friendly meals, so that's why I just have to go for something simple, and you can get this easily.
Okay.
So what we just have to do is slice our lemon and lime.
Okay.
Lemon and lime and our cucumbers.
Okay.
Then we put them in the jar.
Okay.
And we add our water.
That's
if
all?
you want it very
Wow.
cold,
Yeah.
you can add your ice cubes and you let it sit for about 30 minutes.
Wow.
So all the
Well,
flavors
why
can
do
go
we
in.
make infused water? Like, why can't we just drink the water plain and feel good with ourselves, you know?
It's just to feel healthy because we just finished the festive period and most people have eaten a lot of sweet things, junks and all. So you taking this water is actually refreshing as well. So
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk
Okay.
about the ingredients and what we're making use of for each meal.
Okay.
So,
chicken breasts.
chicken breast,
Just
okay?
boiled. We are still going to what's the word?
You're still going to cut it
We are still
into
going to
tiny
cut
pieces.
it in tiny
okay.
pieces and
Okay.
we'll stir fry it a bit.
Okay.
Then these are carrots and
Okay.
our lettuce.
Okay,
So this is our cocktail sauce.
Okay.
It is made of ketchup and mayonnaise.
okay,
And this is our wrap
okay.
that we'll be using for the chicken wraps.
Is
So
it
we just
possible
put-
to switch anything here? Because I know some people, when they hear ketchup or mayonnaise, you're thinking fat. And you know we're talking about healthy wraps. It's usually better to make use of this.
It's better like this.
Okay.
If you are eating it, if you are using just mayonnaise, that's when you know that it's fatty. But the ketchup
usually steps it down.
Steps it down.
Yes. Okay. All right. Then of course for the infused water, cucumbers, lime and lemon. Now you know what you said about budget friendly. Lemon is no longer budget friendly.
But it's not on the high side.
No, it's not on the high
It's
side.
better than using watermelon. You want to buy a big watermelon. You know how much
So you
it is
need a
because
big watermelon to get a bottle done?
Not the biggest size.
Okay,
But at least if you want to buy it fresh, you know you are going to buy the big size. But this one I can just get 2 pieces from those selling instead of buying the bigger size.
Okay. All right, so we'll definitely have the infused water ready so you can see what it would look like shortly. However, it's about time for Tokpe to take it over.
Thank you so much, Mary, and I'm definitely looking forward to what's happening in the kitchen. But joining us to shed more light is Dr. Olamide Brown, a British-Nigerian medical doctor and founder of the Flying Doctors. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing
Lovely
this
to be
morning?
speaking to you this
Same
morning.
here. I mean, Mazina's told me that you have so much to tell us today. So what are we going to be discussing this morning?
We're going to be discussing how to keep your family healthy. And I think especially during these times in Nigeria, people are particularly concerned about the health of their children, about their own personal health, and about the health of their parents and other elderly members of the family. So I'm going to be giving a 3-point formula to help us all think more carefully and perhaps in a more structured way about how we can keep our family healthy.
Okay, so a 3-point formula. What is point A?
So it's the MMN formula.
MMN.
Mind, movement, and nutrition.
Mind, movement, and nutrition. Okay. So mind. Let's talk about mind.
So I think the most important thing about mind health is the fact that we don't talk about it very much, especially in this part of the world. I think mental health is still something that is very stigmatized.
Yes.
We don't talk about depression. We don't talk about people suffering from anxiety. And I think even sometimes, I don't know if you've experienced this, people kind of think that it's evil or when somebody has depression, maybe it's more spiritual
than natural.
And actually, we don't see it as, we see cancer. We don't see it as a disease. We don't see depression as anything medical. So looking after our minds is all about trying to get the most amount of sleep that we can, 8 hours or more, and making sure that the quality of that sleep is good. And also, some people take up a meditation practice, some people take up a drawing practice, but something that calms the mind. Sometimes we get that from prayer, meditation on the Bible or the Quran or whichever religious text that you sort of use for your mental health. But also keeping our social connections as well. Some people feel very lonely during this period when they're not having these, especially the extroverts. They're not able to have these big parties and fun times. And those are things that are important for their mental health. So keeping those connections in other ways, through WhatsApp calls, through Zoom calls, through phone conversations, are very important for our mental health. The next one is nutrition. And I think that this might be the one that Nigerians like to talk about, and hate to talk about even more than mental health. Because it means giving up some of the things that we really like. So I'm from Ekiti. And our sort of state dish is pounded jam.
Yes, it is.
So when I start suggesting healthier alternatives to my Ekiti people, like maybe substituting pounded jam for let's say a cabbage swallow.
Come on. Pounded jam, come on. Yo.
Or an eggplant-based swallow.
Can't we have half of the pounded yam?
I get some very funny looks.
Like half.
Some people even say that it's an abomination in Ekiti to talk about those things. But really, I think that that heavy sort of carbohydrate-based diet, we can have them as treats. But in terms of our general approach to our diet, and this is, you know, we've spoken about the first M, which is mind, and we're now going on to nutrition. So in terms of, you know, improving our nutrition, then it does mean making difficult and painful substitutes and perhaps eating things that we don't like, and perhaps ridding ourselves of this "something must kill a man," mindset, where we want to protect our families, because it's not just us. We cook for our children. We sometimes cook for our grandparents, and getting them into these healthy eating habits will prolong their lives and will prevent them developing diseases later in life.
Very true.
So increased intake of fruit and vegetables is very important.
So, but it's possible to have your pounded yam, but just have like a lot of veggies in the meal as well, or have like an oilless okra, or have like your not overcooked vegetables. This is me trying to fight for pounded yam.
I think that we all have sort of thresholds between, and we all try to balance between, you know, what we like to do and what we need to do. And I think that that's a balance that's not just for food, but for life. But I would always try and advise people to be on the journey of becoming healthier, of reducing their carbohydrates and increasing their fruits and vegetables, reducing their fried food as much as I mean, I like akara, but I know that it's probably one of the most unhealthy things I can put into my mouth. So substituting those fatty foods for steamed foods, and you know, for the bushmeat lovers and the suya lovers and the steak lovers, also substituting perhaps the meat-based things for more fish and chicken based
so let's create an ideal meal now for our viewers, an ideal readily available meal. So now what would be an ideal breakfast?
An ideal breakfast would be something fruit and vegetable based.
For breakfast?
Maybe Quaker oats and salad, Quaker oats and some cucumbers and tomatoes. Yeah, it would be very, very
so Quaker
boring.
oats, let's say middle class and high class. For the lower class, we can do pap.
Or maybe some boiled plantain.
Boiled plantain, okay.
Steamed plantain.
Steamed plantain, okay.
Yeah.
And then for lunch?
For lunch, do you know what bulgur wheat is?
Yeah, no bulgur wheat, but I don't. So it's not really common here.
Okay, you know, most of the supermarkets sell it. I don't know if it's available in the open market.
Open market, yeah.
But substitute it or fada rice as opposed to long grain rice.
Okay.
Those are the kind of substitutes. People don't like fada rice because it smells and because it's coarser. Yeah. But actually, those are the things that make it slightly healthier than the long grain alternative.
Oh, okay.
So
are you saying it's healthier than the basmati rice?
I would say probably about the same as basmati, but long grain rice, ofada tends to be healthier. The browner, coarser rices tend to be, you know, more healthy. And then for dinner, again, I would say, you know, make sure that there's lots of fruits and vegetables in your diet. And if you can substitute out some of the heavier swallows like eba or pounded jam, occasionally for an oat-based swallow or an eggplant-based swallow or a cabbage-based swallow that you can make. You can make swallow out of cabbage at home. Or like the rice, for instance, instead of buying rice, buy cauliflower rice, and then you can buy cauliflower, and then you can sort of grate it into rice and have that instead of rice. I know it doesn't sound attractive. It doesn't sound attractive, and I think we all have to find that balance between health and enjoyment. And even in life, we have to find, you know, a balance between work and enjoyment.
Very true.
But you know, the further that we can sort of move ourselves, and obviously I haven't spoken about the role of water, but that's very important, drinking lots of water. But the further that we can move ourselves from enjoyment to a more healthy lifestyle, the better life that we're creating for ourselves and for our children and for our grandparents, who probably need it a lot as well.
But we're going to have to wrap up with that. But definitely next week we're going to pick up
movement.
So I'm sure for you watching, you've definitely learned how to work on your mind and your nutrition. I'm not sure if people are ready to start practicing, but this is a new year. You might want to start a healthier lifestyle journey. Do not go anywhere. We're going on a break. When we come back, Wake Up Nigeria continues. We'll be right back.
Well, you're welcome back. And of course, it's time for us to do some social media. And of course, I have Tokwe looking beautiful in tilt here with me this morning. And we're going to be taking a look at some of your comments, which we put out a comment today on social media. And we were talking about Nigerians have a very special way of always finding the best out of any situation.
Very true.
Yesterday, what was trending was this very interesting I don't know if you call it an ID card or whatever it was, but it was the Stingy Men's Association. Let me see if I can get that out. This is a sample of one of those.
They even put their passports.
This is a friend of mine, is actually a biker, but people are just jumping onto the trend and they're getting themselves ID cards. This is Stingy Men's Association of Nigeria. They're actually real ID cards, and from that, a whole lot of other kinds
I like this.
Lavish Boys Association. And what I really like is the motto that goes with these associations. They're fictitious, by the way. They're not real. This is Send Your Aza. I think Aza means...
send your account number.
Account number.
Yeah.
There's Nice Guys Association of Nigeria. Send your account details, says it.
Yes,
There's Friends with Benefits Men's Association of Nigeria. If you game, I'm game.
I ain't game. I ain't game.
So we asked you, which one would you belong to? Which is your which is your fancy?
I'm a lady.
Well, hey, who would you rather date?
I would date, let me see the options again.
Friends with
Definitely
Benefits?
not Stingy Men Association.
Not Stingy Men, not Nice Guys Association of
Maybe,
Nigeria.
Lavish Boys, what's their motto?
Lavish Boys, their motto is Send Your Aza.
They're quite Raz. I don't want Raz people.
Let's see what you guys actually said. We were asking which of these associations you guys would rather belong to.
Our founding father has
this is a very, very interesting one. This person has given the president himself his own ID card, and he says our founding father has declared February 14 Valentine's Day. Let's just take a look at this. This is just all for games. All for games now. Very silly person, but interestingly silly. Now, moving on, let's see this one. This person says he will belong to the Stingy Men's Association.
Wow.
I'm a procrastination manager. I will give you a week or next week or next month.
Wow.
Thank you very much for giving us your designation, procrastination
manager. So they have
manager.
Positions. Wow.
Yes, the positions.
Wow.
And that's also a very interesting bit here. You can give yourself any position that you want.
Wow.
You know, anything you seem or you think is
we
fit for
ladies
you.
need to come up with something.
This is Rena Faze. She says, we girls sabi how to collect money from SWAN members. That's
SWAN?
not a problem. That's Stingy.
Stingy.
I think she meant to say SMAN.
Man, okay.
Stingy Men Association of Nigeria.
No, I don't want to stress myself now.
And this is, what's his name? Mustafa. He's a member in Ilori. Thank you very much, Mustafa. You know what? The funny thing is, I think Nigerian men are finally owning up to the fact that I am not your father.
Yes. Yeah, and they should.
And I think it's a movement. You know, hey, if we're dating, it doesn't mean that I have to be the person who's just throwing money at you.
I had this conversation with someone yesterday. Like, Nigerian women need to understand that this entitlement needs to drop. Like, we need to meet halfway. Like, now, Valentine is next month. Start saving this month. Like, if you want to get, I know people come for me, but it's really the truth. If you want to collect, be ready to give. And there's a level of pride in it when you're giving. So he won't say anything foolish to you.
By the way, about Valentine's, by the end of this month, people are breaking up relationships and then they tied through.
Oh, they're breaking up on the 12th and the 13th.
Something like that, you know. Willie wife Oluwafemi says she belongs to God Association. SSU, Students Union. We know you people.
We know you guys.
And some kid says, why not say
that? I know, right?
You are just evil. Akinwa Adejimiu says, I belong to FWBMON. That is Friends with Benefits of Nigeria.
Please be going.
And Cybertical says, SMAN twice on weekends and once on weekdays. That's the Stingy Man Association.
On weekends.
And Jinad here says he's proudly S-Man.
What are you? What are you? Honestly, before we call your wife. Before we call
you can't be asking a married man that question. I don't understand.
Let's know how you are to your wife. Are you?
No. I'm not with my wife. I'm friends with benefit with my wife now. With my wife, I mean, baby, it goes like this. Baby, what are we having for dinner tonight?
Yeah.
Because I've got something for you for later.
Ooh, okay. All right. Steamy.
I can't believe
you just said that on national TV. I hope you guys got that. I hope you recorded that.
Oh, Jesus, no. But Hey, let's know what you would rather do.
Yeah.
Let's have your comments as well. Who would you rather date? Which one do you belong to?
I would date Nice Guys Association.
Nice Guys.
They're prim and proper. Yeah,
okay.
they sound
Not bad.
cool, calm, and collected.
No wahala. So do get on our Twitter page and leave a comment on there. Use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. This has been trending since yesterday.
Yeah,
and we thought I would jump on
it
it and have fun with it this morning. And thank you very much for sending your messages. Which one would you belong to? Which association would you make out? Would you make up? Let's see your ID cards and stuff like that. Let's do a break now. We've got more coming up, especially the second hour for Wake Up Nigeria.
Back to the kitchen. Chef Toure. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. And I can't wait for the 30 minutes to elapse so we can finally try it. Infused water. Welcome again to the kitchen. Chef Toure still in charge. And she is making breakfast. Healthy chicken wraps, I believe.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so far so good. Let's talk about what we've done so far and how we arrived at this point.
Okay, so this is our cocktail sauce, ketchup and mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, yeah.
That's all mixed together.
Okay.
And this is our tortilla.
Okay.
Just also known as wraps. And this is our shredded chicken breast.
Okay.
The reason why we use the chicken breast because it is softer than every other part of the
chicken.
So we just had to shred it.
Okay.
And this is our lettuce and
carrots. Okay.
So name those.
And then of course the chicken. What did you do to it? There was something you did to it earlier.
Yeah, I seasoned it and I stir-fried it.
Okay.
Shredded and stir-fried it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
so what did you season it with?
Black pepper.
Just black pepper. Okay.
And chili.
And chili, okay. No salt, nothing.
Little salt.
A little
actually.
salt, okay.
So for your wrap, it's pretty easy. Like really, really easy.
Every chef claims it's easy.
It's easy.
Until you try it at home.
The carrot and the lettuce have been cleaned with vinegar.
Rinsed and then of course
yes, so that's why we're just putting it in there fresh. Okay. And we want the carrots to remain crunchy.
Okay.
So we are not doing
anything to
anything
it. No.
to it.
Okay.
So I hope maybe I don't want to remove my glove because somebody is going to eat this. So
okay.
It's pretty much
that's about it.
Easier.
So that's the paste to
again.
stick it properly.
Yes. Yeah.
So besides
please let me put the pot on the fire. So
besides having that sweet liquid taste in your mouth, the mayo catch mayo catch. I feel like
you've done something in mayo catch.
The mixture can also help. The other one. The mixture can actually also help you glue it together, so everything comes along nicely. Okie dokie.
So we just want our pot
to dry up.
Then we just place this in there, just for it to get warm a bit.
Okay. So let's make another wrap. Let me get somewhere we can put this in. Here. Depending when the pan gets dry, okay? So let's make another wrap. In case you missed how to do it the first time, just watch this.
Cocktail sauce, ketchup and mayonnaise.
Yeah, very easy. And this is something most of us, we have at home. Ketchup, mayonnaise. There are some people that still put other spices in it, but don't be deceived. This is how your shawarma is made.
Healthy.
Ketchup, mayonnaise.
So you just have to use this so you feel it says then.
Okay.
Our chicken breasts.
Okay.
Stir fried.
Okay.
Chicken breast. Carrots.
And then of course let you see. Very easy. The pan is dry enough now, so we're going to start getting it sealed properly. Right now, however, we have to take a break because it's the top of the hour. We still have about 45 minutes left to go, and breakfast will be served at the end of the show. We're always looking forward to that one. There we go. Let's wake up Nigeria.
You have no idea what goes on when the cameras are not on us, but I will not tell you guys. Let's just save that for another time. Welcome back. It's the second hour of the #1 breakfast show here for Nigerian television, and of course, you know it's going to be great. So done we are with the first 1 hour. And of course, it's going to be fantastic this next 45 minutes.
Indeed. And of course, I should let you know that, well, there's a lot to live up to, really. And we hope that we live up to your expectations daily. Yeah, that's indeed. Very important.
Now, we are on to the 100-meter race, for the lack of a better word, up to the final. And we know that you are in for the marathon race to the end of the week. And we're going to ensure that we get you there with undiluted family entertainment. That's our goal. And we're keeping it nice, simple, and very, very family-oriented.
Indeed. And, you know, right now, I stepped out of the kitchen for like 5 minutes. And Topa is acting like she owns the kitchen.
I don't know.
I don't understand what's going on there. But it's okay. It's okay.
I own this space.
Like, okay, this is supposed to be me, but it's okay, you can do it.
I like what you guys are doing there. Okay.
And then
well, it's all good. So, my name is Mazino Appeal, of course, and...
My name is Mary Bashua Alimi. Now, remember, you can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. That's across all social media platforms. Yes. We're talking about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, okay?
And
TVC Connect.
You can also make sure that you watch us from anywhere you might be across the world using our very special app, which you can download on iOS or indeed on Google Play Store.
Yeah.
Did I get that wrong? On Google Play Store and iOS.
Yeah. And just as I said earlier, please follow us. Follow us. Don't just watch our content. Click the follow button, okay? Just follow, like, okay? At TVC Connect.
All right, so let's tell you what we have coming up on the show. We have a performance, and Derek is a fast-rising Afrofusion musician and a songwriter, and he's going to be performing today with us, so just stay tuned. Daniel is a seasoned entrepreneur and professional early childhood practitioner. She's the founder of Moma Hill Montessori School, Lagos, and she'll be talking about developing your child's reading culture.
And our final guest is Nigerian filmmaker Uduak Patrick, a theatre, film, media and entertainment professional with a background in production management, creative directing for film and television.
I don't understand. That woman has worked so hard to make sure we all went to school. And now she's sick, there's no money for her treatment.
Nice. Can't wait for that interview. Who's doing it? You are. In any case, so I was talking to you about what was happening on social media the other time. The Sweet Boys Association.
Sweet Boys.
Stingy Men's Association of Nigeria, S-Man. And I'm wondering who you would date.
Mary will go for a nice guy.
I'm good for nice guys. Why would I make my life difficult?
Why would I want to
Well, Friends with Benefits Association.
Nice guy.
What's that?
Oh, that's yours. I know you.
With my wife.
We know.
With my wife.
Did you see how he embarrassed himself?
Nice Guys Association.
Exactly.
That's the way forward.
Ain't nobody got time for stress.
I'm telling you.
What was the other one? The one the ladies have pushed theirs out now.
Oh yeah, ladies now have Stingy Women Association.
And their motto is it stays closed.
As in, if you see the clothes there.
So, you know, interesting. I've not seen that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that I was discussing with two of our cameramen, Mr. Richard and Mr. Kazim.
Yeah, I heard you.
And yeah, I was talking about how our minds have been warped to believe that it's a man's job, provide. It's a woman's job, take care of everything.
That's what
and then the girl goes to your house, in quotes, cleans up, washes everything. And the way she's going, she says, give me cab fare. And then you go, am I your father?
No.
When you've enjoyed the benefits of a wife already, and then you're... It's just insane, really.
I'm not going to be snitching on the guys. I'm just going to let that one slide. But I believe that in that kind of situation, you guys have reached a certain level of your relationship that it shouldn't...
It's not that Mazino is speaking English.
Don't mind you. There's somebody that was almost speaking...
I wish you had come last week. If you had come last week, maybe I would have had money for you.
What's last week and money?
Did you know what, Mary? Let's just...
Can you tell me?
Because I don't want to know.
Let's do a fact finder, and we'll be back with some more. Welcome back. And this hour, let's begin with the news, where we begin in Abuja, where the Department of State Service, DSS, has raised alarm about plans by some elements working with external forces to incite religious violence across the country. According to a statement by the Public Relations Officer of the service, some targeted states include Sokoto, Kano, Kaduna, Plateau, Rivers, Oyo, Lagos, and those in the southeast. The statement also noted that part of the plans is to cause interreligious conflicts and use their foot soldiers to attack some worship centers, religious leaders, personalities, key and valuable points as well. The DSS advised Nigerians to be wary of these plans and shun all divisive tendencies aimed at inciting or setting them against one another, while pledging to collaborate with sister agencies to ensure that public order is being maintained. And away from Abuja now to Rivers State, where residents of Bonny, a local government area, have expressed their displeasure over the incessant attacks and killings by pirates on their waterway for many years. The protesters, who are mostly youth, residents on Bonny Island, told journalists that the most recent of the attacks was on January 5th, 2021, when 2 indigents drowned in the river after pirates attacked their boat. They added that the pirates, after the attack, made away with valuables from the passengers and asked them to jump into the high sea. Meanwhile, due to the high rate of attacks by pirates on the island, the Rivers State government in July 2019 launched a special security initiative codenamed Operation Sting, in which patrol vehicles and gunboats were donated to security agencies to tackle violent crimes on roads and waterways in the state. Last week, the Rivers State Police Command also deployed 366 special constabularies to various localities for its community policing initiative. The Bonny protesters, however, insist that there have been no improvement in the security situation in the area. And we move on now back to Abuja. The federal government says it may review the January 18th date earlier slated for resumption of schools across the country. This is due to the surge in infections as a result of the second wave of coronavirus. The Minister of Education, Adamu, disclosed this in Abuja during the weekly briefing by members of the Presidential Task Force of COVID-19. The Minister of Environment also confirmed that tertiary institutions will be decontaminated prior to school resumption. The Minister of Health also clarified reports circulating on the suspension of the ongoing National Identification Number registration exercise. Dr. Sajay Hanare says he was quoted out of context, as there are no plans by the federal government to suspend the exercise. And let's take it on to sports now. We have Mary.
Thank you very much, Mazino. Week 5 matches of the Nigerian Women's Football League has been postponed by the league management body. The NWFL, this development is due to the inability of the 14 participating clubs to meet up with the directives on COVID-19 tests for players and team officials. The postponement is to enable the board of the NWFL collate and validate the COVID-19 test provided by the clubs. Week 5 matches will now be played on Wednesday, January 20, across all designated centers. Now, the CAF Confederation Cup tie between Nigeria's Rivers United and South Africa's Bloemfontein Celtic has been rescheduled for the weekend of January 22 and 24. The second leg of the last 32 tie will now be played in a neighboring country to Nigeria, which has more lenient COVID-19 protocols for travelers arriving from South Africa. The match should have been played on the 6th of January in Port Harcourt, but the South African side club were not able to travel to Nigeria due to the strict coronavirus regulations by the Nigerian government. The regulations meant that Bloemfontein Celtic would have had to quarantine for 7 days upon arrival because South Africa is listed as one of the high-risk countries in Africa. To the FA Cup now, Manchester United will host Liverpool in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Monday night's draw pitched 12-time winners United into battle with Jurgen Klopp's men, who beat coronavirus-hit Aston Villa side to book their place. Current FA Cup holders Arsenal will play the winner of the tie between Shrewsbury and Southampton, which was postponed due to several positive COVID-19 tests in the Shrewsbury squad away from home. Manchester City will travel to League Two Cheltenham, and Tottenham head to Wycombe Wanderers, with the 4th round ties scheduled for the weekend of January 22 to 25. Non-league Chorley's reward for beating Derby County in the 3rd round is a home game against Wolves, while Crawley Town, who knocked out Leeds United, will visit Bournemouth. Just so you know, Tottenham Hotspurs will play Fulham on Wednesday in a fixture reshuffle after their Premier League match at Aston Villa was postponed because of coronavirus cases in the Villa camp. Fulham's scheduled home match against Chelsea on Friday will now take place on Saturday. Aston Villa, who are due to host Everton on Saturday, will now face the Toffees on Sunday. Fulham's game at Tottenham was originally scheduled for December 30, but it was postponed at short notice because of a coronavirus outbreak at Fulham. And that's it on the sports news update for today on Wake Up Nigeria. Now, we have more for you if you stick with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Now, Derek is a fast-rising Afrofusion musician, a songwriter, and a performing artist. He will be performing the song Blow. Good morning, Derek. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So how long have you been singing?
Officially, I've actually been singing for a long time, but officially I've been singing for like 3 years.
3 years? Okay, so tell us about Blow. When did you write it and what inspired it?
I wrote Blow last year.
Oh,
and then I actually released it on my birthday. That was August 16th.
Okay.
Blow is just a song that depicts the fact that, like, me as a person, I don't like fake love.
Okay.
So, like, if you're going to love me, like, right now, then I'll show you love back when I'm blown, basically. That's what I say.
Okay, you know what? Blow us away with real love.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Obviously, well, that's no fake love indeed. You can hear the song talking about blowing and all. That's amazing. That's amazing, really. And of course, it's time for us to talk about something really interesting, especially for parents. It's time for the parenting segment. And to do justice to that is Ochuko Prudence Daniels. Now, she is a seasoned entrepreneur and professional early childhood practitioner. She's the founder of Mama Hill Montessori School, Lagos. And she'll be talking about developing your child's reading culture, which is very important, by the way. It's great to have you in the studio with us today.
I'm honored. Thank you.
When I hear Montessori, I just know, of course, that it's more like taking from the roots. Because that most people don't know that Montessori schools are actually to help deliver, to develop a child from like the roots more like.
Total child.
Yes, yes. And so it's interesting that we'll get to talk about developing a child's reading culture. Because many children would rather just fiddle with their phones, playing video games. But really, how can we help our child, or children as the case may be, develop that culture?
Okay, so taking it from the Montessori perspective, we don't teach children how to read. I'm sure you'll be surprised to hear that. The quality of a child's reading is actually dependent on how rich the child's spoken language is. So we take it from the angle of enrichment of vocabulary or enrichment of spoken language. So parents and educators actually should focus on speaking to your child with the goal of helping them to literacy. So naming everything, expanding their vocabulary, getting them to learn words at very young ages. So that way, the children get to learn items generally. There's no limit to what they can learn at very young ages. And as you go along, helping them to name and understand the meaning of things, you don't approximate. You don't try to help them to say it in a babyish way. You use the appropriate language because at that time, they are forming their language. We say that the sensitive periods for language actually spikes up from age 1 and 2. And so you need to guide to help them until they become 6, when it begins to wane gradually. So at that time, children are open to language. Their absorbent mind is fresh and open to receive language. So what should parents do actually to help children develop language skill? In the Montessori environment, it's a process and a very structured procedure. Development of language, enrichment of spoken language, and then you help them to understand the letters. Because let me say something. Writing actually comes before reading. That's because writing is from your mind. You write from your inside.
I'm actually surprised at that. I would have thought reading comes before writing.
It's the other way around.
Oh, wow.
So reading is an interpretation of someone else's thoughts. So when you write your thoughts. But when you're reading, you are interpreting the symbolic representation of someone else's thoughts. So it's more demanding to read than to write. So the key is to help your child develop spoken language very well, and then help them to understand the letters, the symbols, what they look like and how they sound. And then they're able to put them together to make their own words. So children write, before they read, and they read what they already know. So at that point, children, at very young ages, children don't read to understand what they're reading. They read to affirm what they already know. Yeah, so because in Montessori, we support authorship. So that's why we take it from the angle of spoken language, and then they write their thoughts before they are able to interpret someone else's thoughts. And this reading or writing their thoughts doesn't have to do with pens alone. They can actually put letters together. They can write, using alphabets.
Wow.
Using a wooden alphabet or cast alphabets to make their own thoughts known.
More like helping the child develop naturally, no pressure, nothing.
Exactly.
And that makes me wonder, there's a school of thought that says that it helps a child to, when it comes to reading culture and all, bedtime stories help. How true is that?
Very true. Because like I said, it's a process in the Montessori environment. You must have routines for reading for your children. And one way to do that is to have bedtime story time, either from daddy or mommy, and just make it a culture in your home. The very little baby you read to, even though they don't seem to understand what you're reading at that time or seem to be following you, they are absorbing, because at that age, they are very young and their heart is open. They are observing. We're mirroring what we want them to be. So they're watching you, and they know there's something in there. It's said that Africans don't read. And if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. Yeah, we need to debunk that by helping our children to develop a proper reading culture. Have bedtime story, like I said, put a routine, have a regular routine where you read to your children. If you're a Christian, in the morning, read your Bibles, read books, read labels of items when you go shopping. As you drive on the way,
what's written on that?
Yeah, read signages and all of so your children just get to love to read as you go along.
And then, for some children, like you want to develop your child's reading culture. Age 1, age 2, the child goes, nah. 3, 4, the child goes, nah. 5, 6, the child goes, nah, I'd rather just maybe use YouTube and, you know, watch everything that is happening there, which is a form of reading, but it's not the same thing as, you know, when you have books and all. Now, for that kind of child, how can you gently and lovingly steer that child to the pages of books?
Yes, so you create opportunities to spark up reading, to make them interesting. First, you let them choose material of their choice to read. You don't have to insist on what you want them to read. Let them have fun reading. And then be creative. As a parent or an educator, you have to be creative, making sure that it's a fun activity. The goal is not, your eyes are not on the goal. Yeah, your eyes are on child development. So you do it in a fun activity, in a fun way, such that the child is interested. Oh, Mommy, can we read that interesting book again? And then something that really interests them is a material you can read over and over again, because children don't get tired of what they find fun doing.
What if you now have a child that gets tired of a book? Like, when the child is done with a book, I'm never going there again. Can you give me the next one?
Yeah, sure. But when you have choice, when children make choices, it becomes dynamic for them. It's no longer boring. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
So allow them make choices and read everywhere. Create reading corners in your home, in a clean toilet. Have a book corner, some magazines or something to read. Everywhere, in the car, have something to read.
So just surround them with books.
And you read yourself.
And read yourself.
Yes,
well,
read in their face.
How I wish I had more time, because I would have loved us to talk about even when the parent loves reading and the child goes, that's your love, not mine. But that's about it. Thank you so much for your time, Uchiko. Really appreciate it. Interesting conversation. We have to take a break now. The show continues. Stay with us as Wake Up Nigeria.
Well, welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. As you can see, we've got plenty of pillows separating us for a very good reason. Yeah, thank you. But let's tell you guys what we have today. Now, we have a guest in the studio, a Nigerian filmmaker, Udoka Patrick. He's a theater, film, media, and entertainment professional with a background in production management, creative directing for film and television. It's so good to have you here, and I have so many questions. Of course, we had to bring our movie girl in so that we could talk. And I know you guys know each other, don't you?
Yes, we do know each
What's the story behind? You guys dated? You guys were...
Hey! Mazino, it's still early and it's quite cold.
I just want to know.
In 2018...
You're protesting too much. Tell us how you guys know each other.
I went for an audition and he was the casting director for Battleground African Magic, and I got the role, and that was more like a breakout role for me.
Wow.
Because from then it was just been...
Thank you very much for this invention.
It's an honor. Mazino, we should really not let you speak up.
Okay, so I'll just let her ask the first questions.
Okay. So, how was the creative industry for you in 2020 with the lockdown and the COVID-19 pandemic as a whole?
Okay, it was very challenging, but there's this thing I believe that is there's a time for everything, and that season was one season that I think I enjoyed a lot because it gave me an opportunity to sit down and introspect, look at everything that we've done, re-strategize, replan, revisit a lot of things that we've done. And I also got the opportunity to make a series that we've been working on for years.
Okay.
So it was a good time. It was a good time. Despite the challenges, I like where life gives me a balance of everything. We can't have it all good all the time.
Yeah.
So yes, it was a terrible year, but I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, it gave you plenty of time for introspection, didn't it?
Yes.
I'd like
it
to
was
think.
a season of major introspection for me as a filmmaker.
I was asking you a question before we got on, and I've noticed that you're not an actor. I've seen people progress from being actors into being producers, into being directors, but you're just straight up a producer. So I was asking him, actually, I was saying, is it absolutely necessary for you to be an actor before being a... Is it a necessity or a prerequisite for you to be a good director?
No. Directing has its own creative process. It has its own creative process. So you want to be able to have that ability to coordinate the entire creative process. Because as a director, you're in charge of everything from lighting to costume to makeup to
Really?
the actors to the sets. Design.
That's too much responsibility.
Yes, there's a lot of responsibility. So you've got to be able to have that broad spectrum of mind where you can literally see meaning in everything. So if I want this flower on set, is there a meaning to it? Is there a reason why I want it to be there? Is it going to beautify my frame, or is it just an object? You know, you have to be able to think deductively. So being a director is quite a heavy responsibility.
It is.
And when you choose to become a director, when you decide to become a director, you know that you are responsible for the film, from the story, from paper to audiovisual and beyond.
I've got a question for Tokwe, actually. As an actor, are you allowed to influence the details of the script? Can you bend it to suit? Because as a voice artist, I'll have to sometimes add words to certain scripts to make it make better meaning. So I'm wondering whether you're allowed to do that, and how directors see that when actors start to maybe take liberties on scripts.
So it's always professional to ask the director, oh, director, I was thinking if I can try this way, or if I can not, instead of saying this, can I say this? And then the director will tell you if it works for him or if it doesn't work for him.
Edward Norton, for instance, is very notorious. They say he changes scripts, and sometimes the entire movie goes the other way. So have you met such actors before?
Yes, oh yes.
Can you tell us, Nick? Give us names.
No, we name no names. We name no names. But I mean, I think it's actually a good thing when an actor is able to internalize and personalize words, because they are in the process of being. You know, it's talked by. Let's take for instance her current role on African Magic, Riona Abiyiwa. She gave a wonderful she gave a wonderful performance when the character lost her child. You know? And
watch.
There's that kind of scene you really cannot, as a writer, properly write how the character will feel. But when the character now gets into that moment and becomes that person and is in the process of being that person, that sort of tragedy will bring out certain words, will bring out certain emotions. At that point, as a director, I think it's just best to allow the actor be. You know, it's at that point she's creating emotions. She's feeling that pain, that hurt, that loss. You know, and the way I like to direct, I like to use action words to direct my actors. So what is the actor feeling? What's the character feeling? Loss. Yes. How do you emote that loss? How do you take that loss and give it life? You know, because every moment is pregnant with emotions.
Yeah.
You know? So you've got to be able to deliver at every point in time.
I can see you guys vibing. You're talking, she's nodding. You guys are about to make a movie, baby.
No words, no words.
We're taking Mazino off the show. We're doing it.
I agree.
I'm done.
Ask a question before I say something else.
Yeah, so we're in 2021 now. There's a scare for the second wave and probably lockdown. We do not know. What are your plans for this year?
Well, I like to draw inspiration from everything around me. And I actually have a story. I've had a story in mind for years now. And this second wave is already giving inspiration to that story. So whatever happens in 2021, I think will be good. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. We'll take it in stride one day at a time.
Yeah.
And if we get the opportunity to create more great stuff, we'll create more great stuff.
Is it going to influence any of the works that you have coming up with the entire... We've been through a lockdown, we're in a pandemic. I see stories in other countries, like Chiwetel is in one... Is it a series or a movie now? I can't remember. But it has to do a lot with the situation, the current situation. So are any of your works going to, you know, take that form?
Yes, it's straightforward, yes. Yes, I like the way the world has changed.
Yeah.
The current pandemic has tilted the world in a dimension that we have never experienced before. Wearing a face mask is becoming a normal. It's becoming a norm, and when you don't wear one, you look abnormal. You know, I was in Eket a few weeks ago, and I was riding on a motorcycle, and I had my mask on, and everybody was just staring at me. I was like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be. So y'all not wearing a mask is very abnormal. You know, so the elbow handshake, the fist bump, you know, all of those things are becoming the new norm, and it will be very interesting, and it will be nice to have those things infused in our content and in our storytelling.
Sure. Let's see one of your work here on our screen, and we'll be back to talk about it.
Yes.
I'm blown away.
I expected nothing less.
Yes, but I was expecting just a normal dinner, but this is elaborate.
It's been up to a month the last time we made love. And the whole time while we were at it, you were busy staring at the clock because you had that urgent call to make. For God's sake, it's not fair on me now.
Not now.
You're more than willing to pay.
Yes, but I need to go to work.
Can't you just call them and tell them you have a medical emergency? Isn't this a medical emergency enough?
A had-on?
Yes.
But you always interpret every role you play very well. I mean, you're such a good actor. I literally forget that I'm watching Viola Davis and the character just comes alive.
Aw, someone is being sweet.
Thank you.
Listen to me, you low-life bastard.
Okay.
I don't care who you are, because I...
Down.
That's interesting. That's obsession.
Yes, obsession, yes.
Oh, okay. I think that's one Ifo Enada was obsessed with the married man.
Yeah, she was obsessed with the married man.
Okay, so I saw plenty of characters there, plenty of big names, plenty of egos.
Maybe not plenty of egos.
Not plenty of egos.
Creative people are very, you know...
No, not really.
Actors aren't?
No.
I know she isn't, but...
She's not.
So I thought that it was an industry filled with people, filled with plenty of egos, and I was wondering how, as a director, you have to manage these egos or these big personalities. Okay, let's say big personalities.
People are different. I like to just watch people and study.
Okay.
And I mean, there's always a way to handle someone. The way I vibe with Tokwe is definitely different from the way I vibe
Gonna bring
with
that to question. Sorry. Oh no, you're married. That's true. You got married in 2017. 14.
Yes.
14. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he's married, guys. He's married.
And while we're talking about him being married, we did prepare breakfast for you. I hope you came with an appetite. Yeah, we have
awesome.
Chef
That's awesome. That's
and we have Mary, her sous chef.
Oh yeah.
That way, please. They'll take care of you.
All right, so welcome to the kitchen.
Yes. Let me do this for you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Welcome to the kitchen.
Thank you.
All right, so today's chef is Chef Ture, and she's made this awesome breakfast. Tell us about it.
So we have our LD chicken breakfast and our infused water. So this is made of chicken breasts, lettuce, and carrots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So LD 2021.
I actually like wraps.
Oh,
I'm a
okay.
big fan of anything wraps.
Wraps.
Yes.
Okay. So this is especially for you then.
All right, so let's
have you try.
dig in.
So what's in the infused water?
Yeah, we have lime, lemon, and cucumber.
And cucumber. Just to give water taste.
Yes, and it would
It's
help
healthier.
detoxify your body.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay,
So we need you to try it.
takes this chicken breast, carrots, lettuce,
And, mayonnaise and ketchup. It's called cocktail sauce. So that's what we used to fill in the wrap.
okay.
You definitely enjoy it.
You like it?
I like.
Fantastic.
I like.
I'm not surprised. Chef Ture with our simple yet amazing meals.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's about it on the show today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everyone who has been a part of the show. Thanks to all our guests. Thanks to Chef Ture. Thanks to you for watching. Thanks to every member of the crew. And of course, Mazino that is like, these girls will finish this rap. These girls will finish this rap. These girls will finish. Like, I can hear his voice in my head meditating.
It's all good, no problem. As soon as you guys are done in there, I'm going to jump in there and make myself some
We didn't
good
invite
Uncle,
you.
sit
We didn't
down.
invite you.
Calm
Sit
down.
there, stay there.
Relax. There's social distancing here.
All right, then. Till tomorrow. It is Wonder Woman Wednesday. Tomorrow, you definitely don't want to miss that. Around the world.
Girls, and we can't wait. Have a great day. Bye-bye.